Hello everybody and welcome to my first Payday 3 heist guide. In this video I'll be doing the first heist, which is the No Rest for the Wicked on Overkill. This heist is actually kind of easy, but there's one frustrating step which we'll only have to do once, and then if we keep failing then you'll understand that this heist is actually so much easier. So what you're going to want to do is just spawn in and run straight over to this door here. I'll show you the perks that I have at the end of the video, so just make sure you're watching this video all the way through to the end, or you can skip to the end just to see what perks I've got. It's up to you. You only need 6 or 7 skill points in order to get all the perks that I'd recommend, but the main one is going to be Rush, and using Rush where the civilians and cameras around as well, because then you can get doing stuff much easier. The RNG for this heist can be pretty good, but also it can be pretty bad, obviously. So if you're looking for the red keycard room, sometimes it can spawn on the roof, and that will make the whole thing a complete nightmare. But if you're lucky enough to get the camera room and the red room on the first floor, then you should be good to do this. I'd recommend bringing motion sensors as well, so you can check them on the stairways or guards, so you know which things are happening. So you're just going to want to spawn in, run and look for the QR code phone. It can be spawned downstairs in the first room that we went through in the cupboard. It can be spawned in the manager's office downstairs. It can be spawned in the IT room, which is where it was for me today, and it can be spawned in the office as well, on the table with like the conference room as well. So once you've got that, you're going to want to go and steal the red key card from a guard. It can spawn on the roof on a guard, and it can also spawn on the first floor on a guard, and I think it can actually also spawn on the ground floor as well. But whatever happens, it's going to be on the back of a guard. It doesn't have a spawn that's not on a guard. So you just want to pick that up and then go look for the room, and you should be alright to do this without a mask on as well. And you're just going to want to open the room and go in and do the hack, so you can find out what the colour is for the switch box downstairs. So once you've done that, you're going to want to run downstairs and go back to this box here. Obviously make sure that the guard is around, so I'd recommend sticking one of the motion detectors on this guard if you have it. But now we're going to be doing the step that we're going to only need to do once, which is grab an executive. So as you just saw, I stuck the motion detector on that guard. You don't actually need the motion detector if you know the rotation of your run that you're doing. So just be careful of the lead guard, as he can go up and down the stairs, and he's probably going to be the more likely to get you. And also, because you're going to have to mask up to grab an executive, I'd recommend grabbing the blue key card and then going into the camera room and taking out the cameraman just like that, and then answering his pager. And once you've done that, you should be good to grab the executive. You can deal with the hostages if you need to, but you shouldn't need to, because there's a room that the executive will always go into, so you can just grab him pretty easily from there. I'll show you that room in a second, as we're just going to be leaving the camera room here. And there's an executive right there. I don't think I actually grab him here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go... Well, actually, no, okay, there's 2 locations. So the room opposite this room, if that makes sense. So on the left of my screen, there's a doorway, and there's like a printer room in there. That's where you can grab him too. But I'm just going to grab him here in this doorway, wait for that guard to do the rotation to give me the longest. I'm going to strafe along to the side of the hallway, so the civilians in the manager's computer room don't see me. Not the manager's room, because that's downstairs for confusion for what I said earlier. But then you're just going to want to make your way down the stairwell. Make sure that guard is on the right side of you, because if he's on the left, he's going to see you doing this. Hug the left side of the wall so that the civilians in the conference kind of room don't see you, and then just go through this gate here and chuck him against the eye scanner. You should be pretty good here as well. Also in the main lobby where that lady stood, there may also be a guard there, so just be careful when swinging the corner. And it's also worth taking out the cameras as well, as I said earlier, just because there's cameras here that can be really, really annoying, and it's going to mess up taking the loot as well, although in a minute I'll show you what you can do with that as well. So once you've done that, you're going to want to head back upstairs to the manager's computer. I don't actually understand why the manager's computer is upstairs when it's not in his office, but it's just something, I don't know. You're going to want to make sure that the guy is not coming up the stairs again. You're always going to want to be careful of the guy, because he has a few spots that are tucked in, so you're going to have to swing the corner just quickly to see if he's there. Otherwise, you will get detected by him maybe as well. And here you're going to have to do a little bit of ninja if you don't have rush, because then the guards, the civilians are going to see you. It depends I'm pretty sure the computer always spawns in this room in Overkill, but it's not always the same computer, so and the number of civilians also varies as well. Just be careful of that. And if you can, tag him when you can, so that you know if he's going up or downstairs. I'm not sure what rotation you'll have on your game, but as you can see, he's going downstairs for me right now, so it could mess this up, but I think we'll be alright. Because now that we've got the code, we're pretty much done for this run as well, so we can just go back to another maskless run in a second. That's because if you reset the heist, everything will be the same. There's nothing that random rolls don't really occur, so what we're just going to go do is just input the vault code like this. So as you can see, if you look with your gun, you will see the fingerprint smears on the numbers, so you know what your code is. So for me it's 5081 from the codes in the top left, from what we got from the computer. And once you open the vault, you're just going to want to restart the heist. So now that we've spawned in again on a new fresh run, you're going to want to do everything again the same up until the flip of the switch. And then when it tells you to grab an executive, you're going to ignore that. And you're going to walk straight into the vault and you're going to input the code that you found in your last run, which is still the same, 5801. And without masking up, you can open the vault. Just be careful of the observed symbols on the thing because they can appear as you're about to complete it. What I'd recommend doing is, well, it's not a recommendation because it really doesn't make a difference, but just lockpick a box so that you get your rush and then find the money bags in the lockboxes as well. You can only get 2, I believe, per run in the lockboxes, so if you find 2, then you don't want the extra little cash, then it's fair enough. Now, I don't actually know how you can get all of these bags without the die packs going off. It might be a favor, but I haven't seen the favor myself, so as you can see in the gameplay, I nearly got 6 died, diffused, but I managed to only get 5, but it doesn't really matter because it's just a solo guide. If you're doing this with more than one person, it'll make it so much easier and you can get all of the money easily without getting die on them. So yeah, as you can see, I'm just bagging them up, picking up all the extra cash. I'm using a time-lapse just to make this bit a little quicker for you guys, and as you can see, I've just made a little pile there. So if your camera RNG is here, it's probably the worst camera placement, so that's good for this guide. It can be in the room to the right behind where I am now, and it will see you every now and again, and there's also a camera right by the door as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chuck the bags in the doorway of the public area. Now guards can see this. I believe in this run a guard saw it from outside. You can actually close the windows using the buttons on the side.
The gate's door is sealed magnetically. You have to disable the power or you won't get it open.
But I didn't do that in this solo run, so I've kind of messed up there. But at the same time, it doesn't matter because the guard will come in, see the bags, and then it will be a search. Because I don't have a mask on and guards take ages to go into this secure area, I'm just going to thing it. If guards do come in the area, as they are now for me, I'm just going to sit in the public area and move the bags I've already done so that I can save time. And then by the time I've moved all the bags, the guards should have rotated their search out of that area and into another area of the bank, which will buy me more time. One thing I complain about this game is the pager symbol. So if you kill a guard, there'll be a red radio on them, which means you have to answer their pager. Or if there's a red thing, they're going to send off the alarm. But when it does the same for a search, it does the same symbol. So sometimes in runs I've killed the guard because I've thought that they're going to set the alarm off, but in reality they're just starting a search. So I've kind of messed up there, and I think they should just maybe change the color of the symbol when they're doing a different, if they're calling for an alarm, the pager symbol should be red. If they're calling for a search, the pager symbol should be orange, and if they're calling just for a guard or something to come over, it should be yellow or something. I don't know. I just feel like that kind of quality of life would make this a lot more straightforward for knowing what's going to happen. But yeah, as you can see, the guards have moved out, so I'm just going to move the bags back. Just make sure you're avoiding the camera. And now all the bags are in the public area, so we are good to go for completing the heist. All we need to do now is move the bags from A to B to the van, from the bank, and we should be good to complete the heist. Now, hopefully this guide's been helpful. If I've talked too quickly, I think I put text at the beginning of the video saying that you can watch the video on a slower playback speed, just so that I talk a little bit slower. However, I've just tried to condense it into as much video as possible. That doesn't even make sense, but I've just tried to say information, and if it is too quick, then you can just slow it down in the YouTube settings for watching the video slower. But yeah, this heist is pretty easy. Hopefully you found it easy too. The RNG and perks are obviously going to make a difference to your run. But let's take a look at the skill points that you're going to need for this heist. I think you're only going to need around 6 or 7. I actually have 15 spare, so as you're going to see, what I'm going to take is the Infiltrator. So whenever you successfully lockpick or kill an enemy or something like that, you're going to gain Rush. I'm going to ace it as well, and then you're going to pick up the perk, which will allow me with Rush to complete a lockpick in one spin, which is a lot easier when there's civilians and stuff looking at you. I'm going to have the Escapist. Whenever you sprint for 3 seconds, it's going to give you Rush, just because when running past civilians, it becomes very useful. In fact, you don't really need that one, so if you're looking to save points, then just don't pick that one up. The next one I'm going to be taking will be in the Grifter skill tree, which is as long as you're masked off and within 1 meter of a civilian employee, you'll gain Rush. And in the same tree, you'll have the same perks that will make it so that cameras don't see you and civilians don't see you if you have Rush when doing illegal activities, which is like lockpicking or stealing cards from the back of guards. Unfortunately, it doesn't work for guards, but it will just make this heist a lot easier for the rooms with loads of civvies. So anyway, that is the guide. Hopefully I haven't missed anything. If I have, and you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section below and I will answer them. But yeah, I think this heist is pretty straightforward, and with those skill points you should be able to do this pretty easily, especially solo. With friends you can just mask up and hide and then let them run the bags. But yeah, solo it's pretty difficult to get all the die packs and stuff like that. So I don't know, but yeah, hopefully this guide was helpful, and I'll see you later. If you can follow me on stuff, I've got stuff in the description that you can follow me on, and hopefully this guide is helpful. Yeah. Alright. See ya.